Since I moved into the new house, I've been dealing with this temporary setup for video editing and gaming, and I'm tired of it. So it's time for a setup upgrade. And we're starting out by comparing the IKEA Bekant versus the Flexispot E7 Pro Plus standing desk. Let's go, nerds. What's up, everybody? I'm Brea Thorne. Welcome to the channel. And yeah, it's time to upgrade the setup here. And if you guys watched my last setup tour video, you may have seen that I had this whole setup done all with the cheapest IKEA tabletops and legs and stuff like that I could get. That's a great place to start. It really got the whole channel started going with the cheaper stuff. But I've got back problems, and this job involves a lot of sitting down in front of the computer. So a sit-stand desk is really the best option for me here, but I wanted to do it on a budget. So when Flexispot reached out, asking if I wanted to compare their E7 Pro Plus standing desk to the IKEA Bekant, it sparked this idea. Why not do a whole rad setup from start to finish? From the basic I just moved in kind of setup where I have some really cool stuff here, but the trappings are kind of minimal, to an awesome video editing and gaming Battlestation. So this is the first episode of Battlestation on a budget. Thanks Flexispot for providing the two desks for me to compare and getting this whole ball rolling. Now, the first thing I have to do, let's assess what we have here. Now this setup here is based around the Skytech Eclipse that I reviewed late last year. Awesome system, 13900K 4090, but it's kind of big. So a later episode of this is gonna involve a rebuilding or a building of it. Yes, it's gonna involve a PC build. Something preferably a little bit smaller, but still awesome to look at and awesome performance. Other than that as well, I have to do a rework of the monitor situation. Right now I have an awesome 32-inch 4K 144 Hertz monitor from Mobius, and I love this thing. And then I have pretty much a budget 27-inch monitor as a side monitor here. Of course, I've got the Digma Raise Ergo split keyboard. Love this thing. It saved my wrists. I do tons of typing here for emails and all that. And glorious wireless 10 key right here. Pretty much one of my favorite desk mats, which is the Epos Vox kind of VHS look, and this sort of cobbled together wrist rest. The Mackie CRX speakers in white. Pretty much no cable management to speak of. It just has to work, basically. And peeking over behind here is where my network equipment is. My fiber modem and my Asus ROG router extraordinaire, which is the AXE 16000, which I bought right before they came out with the Wi-Fi 7 one. Yay me. All those changes don't matter if the desk isn't right. So we have to have the right foundation for the whole build. It's gonna be the desk. So Flexispot reached out and said, hey, we'd like to work with you on something. So how about we send you our E7 Pro Plus standing desk, and with whatever desktop you want on it, because generally you have the frame and then you pick your desktop surface, and there you go. And then also an IKEA Bekant, you pick one of those up, we take care of it for you, and then you have both of those desks to compare. Now, this video, to be clear, is not funded or sponsored by Flexispot. They didn't actually pay money dollars to me for content. They're providing the desks. That's it. I do kind of get to say whatever I want about them, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna build both of those desks. I'll talk about the build experience, the quality of the instructions, things like that, the quality of the materials, and then we're gonna compare them. So, I do apologize for the audio in here. This is just our game room, but this is where we really needed the improvement here. I'm already doing crazy stuff out in the studio over there, but right here, I actually spend more time working here. It needs to be better ergonomically, and it needs to be just a nicer place to work. You get to come along for the ride, episode by episode, as we build up this Battlestation, and you can check some of these things out for yourselves in the links that are in the description, and I hope you do. So, what's next? Well, I get to clear all of this stuff out, get it out of the way, give us a blank canvas to work with and space to build 2 desks. So why don't we get that started right now? Did I snap myself out of that and change the camera angle? Hold on. Oh, okay, cool. We're good. Where did I snap my hoodie away? What? Where's? Yeah, so we got everything out of here, and I got tons of space now to work in. So that should help. And why don't we go ahead and get started? So, in this corner, we have the IKEA Bekant white frame and the maple-looking chipboard tabletop. And over here, Flexispot E7 Pro Plus standing desk, also a white frame, also the maple-looking tabletop. I do have one thing that is going to give a bit of an unfair advantage, in perks at least, to the Flexispot one. They're casters. And you may not care about rolling your desk around. Maybe you're on thick pile carpet, something like that for yours. But on a hard floor here, it just makes a lot of sense to be able to just wheel it out when I need to do cable management, stuff like that. So thank you, Flexispot, for sending these too. Appreciate it. So let's get started. So I just got done building the IKEA desk, the Bekant, and it wasn't too bad. There are no words in the instructions. It's all visual, but that wasn't a problem. Everything was pretty easy to follow. I did have one issue with attaching the base to the desktop to those brackets, because when you rest the top of the base on the bottom of the desktop, the holes don't line up with the brackets. So you have to lift it up a little bit while you're screwing it in. And I understand they're like, oh, you need 2 people to do this. What if you don't have 2 people there to do this? Just fix your tolerances, IKEA. That's it. Now, I don't want to speak too soon. We need to see how everything goes with the setup of the Flexispot E7 Pro Plus. So I will say I'm a little befuddled with the Bekant just having up and down for the controls here. That's it, just up and down. There are no memory settings to where you can save your settings or anything like that. You have to set it every time. So I'm pretty sure that the Flexispot desk is gonna at least trump it in that area. So we'll see. But this does feel pretty solid. And I will say that the base for the frame for the Bekant is a lot more robust than I thought it would be, based on the fact that it was just those 2 little boxes. Them legs are thick, like with 3 C's. So hey, they got that going for them. But that's it for this one. Let's move on to the Flexispot one. And I just made a lot less room for myself to work. So we'll get the best camera angles we can. So I gotta say, compared to the bare cardboard that IKEA had their desktop packed in, it was just cardboard, no cushioning, and it was just like pinched at both ends. You had to like tear it open. This from Flexispot, this tabletop from Flexispot is much more securely packaged and protected. Structured corners here, and it is good foam. This is closed cell foam that can handle more than one impact. This is the good stuff. Like this is super solid right here. Both of these desktops are 48 by 30, and both of them have a light wood kind of finish. We'll see how they compare when we get some close-ups of them. Well, looks pretty nice to me. Now, to be clear, in case I was gonna use this in the garage setup, they sent me also a bamboo desktop, a natural, actual like hardwood bamboo desktop. And I'm gonna end up using that one in the final setup. But for the purposes of comparison, we're using chipboard desktops on both of them, just to kind of show a more similar product that way. Thank you, Flexispot, for sending out the bamboo one. I really appreciate that. I love that aesthetic. White and bamboo with purple accents. That's kind of the color scheme that I'm going for. Maybe a little, cyan here and there. That's gonna look sick. Okay, so let's get the base unboxed. I just wanted another surface to work on, basically. One thing I want to make note of really quick. First off, I definitely like their manual a lot more than the, I don't know, this feels almost like tissue paper on the IKEA one. But I want to make note of something here. On the IKEA one, let's say max 70 kilograms. And on the Flexispot desk, max weight 161 kilograms, or 355 pounds. Cuddles, please put up what 70 kilograms is in freedom units. Thanks, bud. This thing can hold a lot more weight than the IKEA desk and the IKEA Bekant, anyway. No wonder they put Kent in the name, right? Anyway, that combined with the fact that it's a couple $100 cheaper and then some when we talk about the shipping thing. Yeah, it's let's put it together, see what the install experience is like, and then we'll make our conclusions. I also want to make note that there's something here that the IKEA desk didn't have, and these are sort of anti-vibration rubber things here. I'm sure there's a term for it, but this is where it actually screws into the table, the desktop, work surface, whatever you want to call it, and that is nice to see. A little trouble lining up the holes on both sides. Now it says that you would need to adjust from the center here. You loosen that up and spread it out there. But I wouldn't think you would need to do that with their 48-inch wide desktop, because it's just about the size of this desk right here in its regular collapsed form here like this. Okay, this right here is the amount of adjustment Flexispot would need to make in the spacing of their outer holes to where you would not need, if you're getting the 48-inch wide desktop, to adjust these at all. And I suggest they do that, because kind of a pain, to do that and not have them line up. If you're going for a larger desktop, then it is understandable, but yeah, that's something I would like to see y'all do. Ooh, okay, we're gonna have to race these things because that was fast. Also, big difference on the IKEA desk, you have membrane buttons, the little bubbles, you press them, they can wear out. Here, you have a capacitive touch control surface. And that's why I was like, whoa, when it started to go, because I wasn't pushing in on it like I expected I would be. Okay, so what we're gonna do to make this easier on me is I'm gonna set the memory for 1 to be the lowest, hit M1, and then I'll put it all the way to the top and set memory 2 to be the highest. Now here's the thing, IKEA has higher end desks, but this one is already $200 more than the price you can currently get the E7 Pro Plus standing desk. As for buying it on Amazon, because guess what? That's something you can do with this. Buy it on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, free shipping. So the Bekant with this desktop is $5.99. To get it shipped a few hours away from the IKEA closest to me over to here was $200. $200. I could not believe it. We've got the price thing settled. This thing's a way better deal because this comes out to $800 with shipping. And this one, $399. Now, we race. 3, 2, 1, go. Now the E7 Pro Plus gets an unfair advantage because it started taller, but it's just until their motors stop turning. Well, you tried. I think the height difference is actually due to the casters. These get similar range. This guy is slower. Now there's one test we can't forget about, and that is the sturdiness test. So let's see what happens when I put a little bit of weight on the corner of each desk. We got the Flexispot and IKEA. Just in case that wasn't scientific enough for you, we'll go ahead and put a PC on each corner. Here's this one. Here's a Flexispot. And IKEA. I'd say the sturdier one is definitely the Flexispot desk. I mean, my goal here was not to favor one or the other. It's just there is really a lot holding back the Bekant. Now, to be fair, I know the IKEA desks situation, and there are newer ones. They're also generally more expensive. And also, IKEA's shipping is ridiculous. They seem to not want to ship anything. They don't want to ship anything to you. Depending on your situation, it's gonna be an easy decision. However, if you look close to an IKEA, that actually changes things because you probably have other IKEA products, furniture, that's going to match the aesthetic of this guy right here. And plus, you know, IKEA of course has all of those nice hardwood work surfaces, desktops, countertops, all those kinds of things. I mean, so does Flexispot. It's a tough one in that case. If you live close to an IKEA and you have a lot of IKEA furniture, in that very specific situation, you might have a little bit of, I don't know. Other than that one specific situation, I'm pretty sure it's unequivocally going towards the Flexispot E7 Pro Plus standing desk, and you get a lot of features for the money. It is kind of ridiculous. Besides which, if you watch my channel, you might have bought yourself a big heavy PC. So you're looking at 154 pounds max weight on the Bekant versus 355 on the Flexispot E7 Pro Plus. Besides which, this frame right here, the frame on the Bekant is not expandable for larger surfaces, for wider desktops, okay? Whereas on the E7, you can extend it. If you decide later on, you know what, I wanna get a bigger desktop, I've got more stuff going on, I'm getting a 3D printer, I need more desk space. All you have to do is flip this thing over, take off this desktop, expand it, and put on the new one. You just saved yourself from having to buy another frame, another sit and stand frame. So let's go over each sort of sticking point. and we'll let that help us decide. Quality of materials. I would say that they're both just about even until you come to that cable management. I definitely prefer the way that Flexispot chose to do it over the way IKEA chose to do it. When it comes to the ease of assembly, Flexispot had a better manual. It had actual worded instructions. It had detailed instructions, and they kind of have to because it's a more complex product. But aside from that, the general presentation of not just having pictures and arrows. Look, IKEA is not known for giving the best instructions. Let's just be honest with ourselves. You know, honestly, when it comes to the tabletops, that's a close one. I would say I believe the veneer on this chipboard desktop from IKEA is actual wood. I can see some imperfections in it, which are the good kind, where you have, you know, the imperfections of natural wood. It's a thin, real wood veneer, whereas I think for the Flexispot one, it isn't. However, it's not that much more to go for something like the bamboo tabletop, which is straight up real wood. Besides which, the desktop that was supposed to be sort of a matchup against this one is also thicker. Now, that doesn't mean that you can put a ton of weight on a chipboard desktop, even if it's thicker, with like a clamp with like 3 monitors. However, there's good solutions for that. I actually use one, even for the bamboo tabletop I have out in the studio, that are these 2 metal plates. I'll put a link in the description for it. It's these 2 metal plates that will help sort of spread any of the actual, you know, focused pressure that can eventually, you know, damage your tabletop, whatever it may be made of. One more thing about the IKEA Bekant frame versus the E7 frame. The E7 frame had all of those rubber grommets at every point where it connects to the desktop, which helps with vibrations from the motors as they're going and just helps it have a more sort of stable feeling. It's not just metal on wood or wood on metal. Whatever. Ease of assembly is what I was talking about, and I would say that based on the clearer instructions and the fact that certain things were already assembled for me, things like that, I would kind of give it to the Flexispot one here. Now, when I say Battlestation on a budget or budget Battlestation or whatever I end up calling this little series, if you want to see the true budget option, look at my previous setup tour, because each of those tabletops I used was about $15. And if I knew I was gonna put a lot of weight on it, I supported it with wood underneath. It was just cheap scrap wood, but large solid pieces that I used to support where I was gonna be having PCs and doing all that. That was the bottom line budget option right there. But if you're looking to do something that's better for your health, for your spinal health, ergonomics, things like that, you would be looking at a sit-stand desk. And in this case, this is not actually that budget of an option at $600 plus $200 for shipping if you're not close to an IKEA, which a lot of people aren't. Just the fact that this is a couple $100 less, has more features, is faster. It really is no contest here. I'm gonna go ahead and declare the winner, Flexispot. And I can see why they were like, you know what, we'd like to have you compare us to the IKEA one, because IKEA is such a popular option. It's no contest. It's cheaper and it's better. And it's not cheap in the sense that the materials are cheap. The materials are really strong. Like this thing, I think might even outlast the IKEA product. I couldn't tell you that for sure, but it's got that feel and you know exactly what I mean. So yeah, I have to say unequivocally, the winner between the two is gonna be the Flexispot E7 Pro Plus standing desk. But let me ask you, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below which desk you liked more and why, because a lot of this stuff is gonna come down to preference, especially if you already have a bunch of IKEA things. This series is actually gonna be a ton of fun, and I hope to work with more brands to kind of show you some ways to use their stuff creatively. This is just a desk. I mean, this is the foundation of everything, right? And that's important. But we're gonna get to have some fun later on, including some dedicated cable management content, you know, at least one video showing you how to manage all your cables in a way that lets you fix stuff if it goes wrong, not just tucking them away forever. And ways to decorate without breaking the bank, to make your space really pop. And I feel like I have the perfect blank canvas here to do that. And if you are, you know, with a specific brand that has things that are for setups like this, reach out to me, because this is finally a chance for me to really showcase some of those things. And I know that you guys, when you're getting your PC, you're envisioning your setup. Let me know what kind of things you're planning on doing, because hey, maybe you'll spark some inspiration for me, because yeah, this is a blank canvas and this is all blank up here. I'm gonna start planning now, and I cannot wait to go on this little journey with you guys. So I'm glad I was just gonna ignore this space. I'm glad I didn't. And thank you, Flexispot, for inspiring pretty much this series. And yeah, I hope to work with you guys again. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.